Good day everyone, this is Dennis, I am in Shanghai. Today you meet the new king. It's not only the king of the roads, but also the king of the charging stations.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness.
The new BYD Tang L is the first BYD to be built on the completely new platform, which is called Super E platform. This car is the most fast charging car in the world, which can achieve 1000 volts, 1000 amperes, which is actually 1 megawatt of power. And the coefficient of charging is 10C. It means we divide 60 minutes per 10 and we have 6 minutes to full charge. This is the really working technology in this car, which costs a little bit more than 30,000 United States dollars in the Chinese official showrooms. And by the way, this car also has the two charging ports. This is one charging port for direct current and another charging port for direct current as well, same as the Denza N7 had before. This is insane, and here we have the newest second generation BYD Blade battery, which is 100.5 kilowatt hours of the capacity. In this battery they changed the chemistry, they changed the compound of the cells, and basically the membrane between cathode and anode allows to achieve this car so much fast charging. Of course, the chemistry is lithium ferrophosphate battery as for the all other BYD cars. In terms of technical specification, this car is much better than the previous generation. Now we have two versions: the rear wheel drive with 500 kilowatt motor on the rear axle, which can accelerate this car from 0 to 100 in just 6.9 seconds, and the four-wheel drive version like this exact car, which has 810 kilowatts, which is more than 1100 horsepower, with the acceleration from 0 to 100 in just 3.9 seconds. This is the completely new generation of electric motors, which haven't been used anywhere before. Just BYD Tang L and Han L, the first models and the first platform to use these motors. They have record revolutions per minute. It is more than 30,000 revolutions per minute, which is even more than in Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, which has 27,200 revolutions per minute. But what does it give to us? First of all, higher efficiency. Secondly, we have more power on the higher speeds, and the most important is the top speed, which is in this particular car 265 kilometers per hour, which is extremely enormous number for electric car. The previous generation top speed was only 195 kilometers per hour. But I know that this car, without the electric limitators, on some special tracks could achieve more than 300 kilometers per hour. All new electric platform, all new body. We don't have any more battery which is hanging under the belly like in the old BYD Tang. This car became longer compared to the previous generation, 15 centimeters added, and 14 of these centimeters added to the wheelbase. The car is really heavy. The rear-wheel drive car curb weight is almost 2,700 kilos, and the full-wheel drive car like this weight is almost 2,900 kilos. This is enormous. And the full body is made completely of the steel. Of course, it's a lot of high-strength steel in the body crate. The thin coating we have on the all panels, including the inside panels of the doors, the body crate, of course, and of course all the outside panels, we have the thin coating right here. You should know this nameplate. It means that the car has the Eye of God BYD Autopilot system, and almost all the BYD in 2025 have this nameplate and have this system. But as I mentioned before in the Leopard 8 video, the DiPilot new autopilot system has 3 levels: A, B and C. The C is the cheapest in budget cars, but here we have the B level. It is the second level out of 3 with the LiDAR technology on the roof, which also can be navigation guided driving, which also can recognize the traffic lights signs and so on. And probably today we will tell you more on the test drive. The most important for you to know that all the BYD Tang L in all the versions, is it hybrid, DM or R3 electric version which we have, they all have this system by default, and the hardware operational potential is about 300 trillion operations per second. New platform, new body, and now we have the front, which is enormous 136 liters of the capacity. The previous generation didn't have any frunk at all. In all the versions we have heat pump in the air conditioning system by default, but the previous generation had it as well. BYD Tang L electric version has 3 equipment levels. One is the rear-wheel drive basic version, the second is rear-wheel drive top version, and the third one is of course this 4-wheel drive top version car. And the only one thing how you can distinguish them from the appearance are the wheels, because here we have the 21-inch wheels, but the rear-wheel drive cars have the only 20-inch wheels. 4-wheel drive car can have one very special option. It's a drone system which will be placed on the roof, and basically the car will be a little bit different. There will be no panoramic sunroof, there will be just a small sunroof. This drone system is developed together with DJI and BYD, and the drone itself can follow the car and even can settle down dynamically, or how to land dynamically or take off dynamically. I think on the speed up to 25 kilometers per hour. It can charge automatically, follow the car automatically, and so on, and it costs about 2,500 USD. But what you should know that if you order the car with this drone system, you will never be able to take it off, because the roof construction is totally different, and this upper part will be not detachable. Now it's time to go to the interior. I will show you there the differences between the equipment levels. The first, I would like to mention that this car still doesn't have the electric suction door, which is very pity for me, because such a big SUV for family would be nice to have it, but unfortunately we don't have. But nevertheless, for most of cars you can buy the installation kit, which is aftermarket, for about $500 to $700 United States dollars, so not such a big problem. In the interior we have minimalistic design, much more minimalistic than the previous model. We have less details here, we have simple straight lines, and the level of finishing here is not higher than the previous generation at all. Here we have the simple plastic, same as in the previous car. Here we have leather, here we have some decorative wood. On the seats we have natural leather in all the versions except the first one, the basic one, but this leather is not better quality than the previous Napa leather in the previous generation car, maybe even a little bit more tough and more rough. Here we have the steering wheel, which is in all versions covered in natural leather, and we have the steering wheel heating in all the versions except the basic one. And there is one feature which is definitely worse than in the previous generation, because we do not have the electric steering wheel adjustment anymore. Here now it's manually, it's a mechanical way, but at the same time they added one more electric adjustment, which is the knee support. Same as in more Zeekr cars, now we can adjust it by this button. The massage, seat heating and seat ventilation for the first row is presented in all the versions by default, but this HUD screen is presented only in medium and top version. The basic version doesn't have it. Drive mode selector shifted to the understeering, we don't have it here anymore. The central control screen hasn't changed at all in my opinion. It's 15.6 inches of the diagonal. The design and everything is completely same as in the old car, at least from my first glance. We have the wireless charger 50 watt with cooling, and here we have something really special. This is a thermo box. This is a refrigerator and heating box which can be adjusted from up to -6 to heating up to +50 degrees. And when we open it, by the way, it is presented only in medium and top versions, we see that it's pretty small. It looks like for 2 Coca-Cola bottles 0.33, but if we take out this separation, we find out it's actually huge. It's combined with the rear seaters compartment as well, and we can open it using this sensor button. We should unlock it and open in this way, and it is really huge. It is about 20 liters for sure, but to close it we need to do it only manually. Fortunately, we still have the same functional gauges as in the previous model, with exactly same functional. We have the trip computer, we have the tire pressure monitoring system, we have of course the power consumption. We can also show here the navigation screen, and also we have a lot of physical buttons, which is extremely grateful to BYD, because they are amazing. They do not make the quantity of the physical buttons lower in new models. Here we have physical buttons as well. This is the driving mode selection. The central screen, as I already told, exactly same as in the previous model, and the main thing I want to show you is the enormous number of massage. We have 5 types of massage, each one can have 3 intensivity levels, and also we have it for the second row, despite it's a 7-seater car, and second row is basically a sofa. As I said, the finishing here is not more premium than a previous car. Actually, I even feel it is a little bit more simple because of minimalistic design. On the pillars and on the roof we have basically the normal basic budget car material, same as in the previous generation of the BYD Tang. No microfiber, no Alcantara. Now we have the panoramic sunroof. It has the sunshade, same as the previous generation, but now it is not openable. The previous generation had only openable, here is only unopenable, and the general square of this enormously huge skylight is 2.49 square meters. Despite the wheelbase is 14 centimeters larger, I could not say from the beginning at once that here is much more space than in previous generation. Nevertheless, here we have plenty of space. This second row is amazing. We have completely flat floor, we have very low floor level, we have very big seat cushion, very wide second row. Everything is just perfect. The medium and top version has massage, heating and ventilation for the second row seaters, like in this car. Also, we have the climate for the second row seaters, only in the medium and top version. This is the sensor panel for steering it, and the access to the thermo box I already have shown you before. Also, what we have here is the pause button, and we have the manual adjust seat position, the backrest position as well, and we have this very simple and basic armrest, which I prefer to be a little bit longer, like up to here. Now I will move a little bit forward. In this position I still have plenty space and I still quite comfortable in riding, and we will start checking the third row. Going to the third row, there is no easy and pleasant access. We have to do something like that, and I have to go somehow like this. Basically, this is not super nice, despite the car is a little bit longer than 5 meters, but it is of course not so good as in ATTO M9 or, for example, the Tang L9. But nevertheless, I would be able to sit here for about 1 hour riding. I still have some space for my knees, but unfortunately the seat cushion is very low. I also have the adjustment of the backrest. Now it's in the maximum angle, and also this armrest is covered with soft and nice material. Basically, this is approximately the level of the previous generation car, and for the kids up to 10 years old, this is quite not bad. Electric tailgate is in all versions by default, and here we have the trunk. Of course, when we have the third row unfolded, we almost do not have space, same as in the previous model and in any other car which is 5 meters long with 3 rows. The mechanism of folding the seats is same as in the previous model, and now we have a huge luggage compartment. We have the underfloor for some factory accessories such as chargers, such as V2L and so on. And also, if we fold the second row, we will have enormous 2 cubic meters space. Just look at it, with completely flat floor, and even the mattresses for sleeping are already available to put right here. Amazing trunk, amazing design of this car. By the way, the audio system is 21 speakers by Dynaudio, same as in previous Tang brand. And also we have the slots for the roulette for the trunk, but it is not supplied by default from the factory. Nevertheless, we can provide it to you for some small extra money. On the medium of the body, we have 200 millimeters sharply, and we have everything very well covered, same in the most other BYDs, no problem at all. The rear part has even bigger clearance under the rear subframe. It's 216 millimeters, and here it will be more than 30 millimeters like in most cars. This protection screen, this duster, actually looks not good. Actually, it's like a jelly, like very thin, and probably will be damaged, but at least we have it in this car. In previous car we don't have it all. And the rear suspension is a multi-link suspension, which looks in this way. I'm extremely grateful to my friends from BYD Shanghai showroom, because they allowed me to drive this car without any supervision from manager for half a day. I'm extremely happy. The only rule, I cannot go to the elevated roads because the car has temporary number plates, but nevertheless it's a 4-wheel drive newest BYD Tang, and we will do the test drive today. Now we are driving the 4-wheel drive BYD Tang electric version with more than 1100 horsepower, and this is a lot of insane power. Especially you feel it on the acceleration from a speed of above 100 kilometers per hour. There, this car is really much more, 1.5 times more powerful or 2 times more powerful than the previous BYD Tang. Despite from 0 to 100, actually you don't feel the huge kick, because probably they made it for the energy efficiency, and that's why when you just start from low speed accelerating, you feel a lot of power, but it's still very smooth acceleration. I really like the handling of this car. Maybe it is one of the best handling SUV on the market currently. As in most of the modern BYD Denza, U8 and Young One and so on, we have the special APP which is called Union. It is right here for the steering of the suspension and some other driving parameters. And in this car we have soft and hard driving adjustment of the shock absorber, same as in old BYD Tang, and both of them are much more comfortable than in the previous generation. You just feel the suspension works more properly, let's say even more synthetic. You don't feel the suspended masses, same as you felt in the previous car. In the previous generation, I really like the sport mode when the suspension are tough, and this was a real sport SUV, and in comfort mode it was a little bit too bumpy and so on, but in this car, comfort and sport mode both works perfectly. The sound insulation in this car is a little bit better than in previous generation. Nevertheless, when you drive on the speed about 100 kilometers per hour, you feel pretty much noise from the wind. Despite this car has a multi-layered soundproof glass, actually the previous generation had it as well. Unfortunately, we cannot test the navigation guided autopilot system today because it needs the registration and the car is completely new. So today we can use only the normal adaptive cruise control system. By the way, it's very small but new premium feature. We have the glass washing nozzles inserted in the wiper blades. This is more premium features such as in Zeekr, for example, and many other more expensive cars. Of course, it is better because the nozzles doesn't just flash on your windshield and you don't lose the view for several seconds in this case. We have the two modes for suspension. It's Union C suspension, and we have comfort and sport mode. But anyways, I must tell you that this car doesn't need any getting used to it. This car handles perfectly, much better than the previous generation. I've already tried it on the bed surface roads. This is really nice without any parasite vibrations, much lower parasite vibrations than in the previous generation of the car. The speed barriers, it also deals faster, and it also deals better. And also what I should say, that same as in the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, the suspension adjusted so perfectly that basically when you deal with the really sharp turns, you first feel that the tires lose control, but you don't feel any loose control in the steering, in the position of each of your wheel, or any losing control in the torque management of the car. It's really insane. Probably it's one of the best handling SUV I have ever tried. Despite the old BYD Tang, I always counted as a really sport style SUV. In the sport mode, the old version handles extremely nice, but in the comfortable mode, the suspension culture of work actually remains to be better. Friends, now I cannot tell you anything about the energy consumption of this car because now we have it at extremely high level, but this car was driven in aggressive way. The car used AC when it was filming for 2 hours. I have driven about 30 kilometers today, and now we have 37.2 for the past 50 kilometers, but when I took the car, it was only about 27. But honestly, I feel that probably this will be same energy consumption as the previous car of the same size, of considerable comparative power, and I think it will start from 20 kilowatt hours in the city mode driving. Now the question, does this car feel like a 1100 horsepower car? No, definitely not. This car from the start feels almost same like the previous generation, which had 517 horsepower only. At the higher speed, like after 100 kilometers per hour, this car feels much more powerful, and maybe in some peak moments it really can show 1000 plus horsepower, but it still feels less power than, for example, Zeekr 001, the 2024 version with 788 horsepower. So generally we have here anyway a lot of power, way too much than you can actually use in an SUV like this. Yeah, it's crazy. After 100 kilometers the acceleration is crazy. but it's not a 1100 car in a pure understanding. This car is purely amazing. I think this is the new king of the road. At the same time, I have small dissonance in my mind because I used to drive the old BYD Tang for many thousands of kilometers as my private car, and I expected the total revolution here, but some small things which I mentioned before are actually more simple than in the old model, and the front seats I like more in the old model. But nevertheless, this is a revolution in technology, revolution in the battery and motors. So this is one of the best SUV, electric SUV on the market for this price. Definitely, it handles perfectly. It has very nice design of the body, the huge trunk, the huge front, very good suspension and handling. Totally amazing. This car you are able to buy from our company. We can export to any country which you need. We also can supply spare parts, accessories and so on, control the loading, the shipment of your car. This is all no problem for us. All the contacts under this video. Please subscribe, push the like button, leave a comment and just text me in direct message if you want a car from China.